Yes, today is the day. Doors to the Copilot have now opened, and I'm so excited to tell you more about my signature program that helps overthinking expats to stop thinking about their decision and take confident action on their next chapter. So, if you have been hearing my previous episodes about decision making, about crossroads that you might be in your expat life, about mentally entertaining 3 different futures that you might be living into every night at 3 a.m. And you have been thinking, maybe the Copilot is for me because it's time for me to start taking action, because I cannot do another couple of months being in indecision and being stuck and going back and forth and second guessing myself and my choices all the time. If you have been thinking about this and maybe about the Copilot, then this episode is for you. I'm creating this short episode purely about my program, and as long as it's online, you'll see that the card for the Copilot is open, so it's gonna disappear in a couple of days. And I just wanted to share briefly what the Copilot really is about, but also practically what you are getting with it. So, the Copilot is really, as I said, for those who want to transform their overthinking into clear, confident decisions in just 4 weeks. Because clarity doesn't need months. Clarity can happen in an instant. I was hosting a webinar on Monday evening. Hundreds of people signed up for my masterclasses this week. I'm really happy about that. And we were together for an hour and 20 minutes in total. And by the end of it, someone who had written me before about her crossroads, and she shared some of her things. And I was like, wow, this woman is in a not easy place. A lot of things were going on for her, and a lot of she was going back and forth on so many different things, like work-wise, family-wise, relationship-wise, and also like her patterns, her emotional things. And by the end of our masterclass, she wrote in a chat, I think I have my answer. And that was just 1 hour and 20 minutes together. And it wasn't even one-to-one coaching. This was me talking about a few things and giving them some exercises to do. And this already brought so much clarity for her. And I'm a really firm believer of, you probably already know what the answer is. So clarity can happen quickly. It is just all the mental noise that comes afterwards that you need to eliminate so that you can take confident action and really start embarking on your new path. Whatever that path may be, it might be something relatively small, it might be life-changing, but it's really possible for you. So in the Copilot, I help overthinking expats to do exactly that. Whether it's about your next career move, where to live, or what kind of life you want to build next. You'll learn how to cut through the mental noise, as I was saying, get clear on what truly matters to you, and also really take confident action so that you can stop living in your head and start making real progress in your global life, even if you don't know where you will be next year, like when it's not up to you, because you don't know how your job posting or visa is going to end up for you. And this program is really for the expats who have this expat success story on the outside. They are living the expat life they were once dreaming of. But on the inside, it doesn't feel that way. It might feel loud, messy, and exhausting in your head. And maybe you're quietly trapped in indecision and constant overthinking. So that expat success story that you have on the outside, it doesn't feel like that on the inside, because you spend more time overthinking, worrying, and being anxious, or even feeling guilty and frustrated with yourself, than truly enjoying where you are. And you also feel guilty, not just about maybe guilty for leaving people behind and for making certain choices in the past, but also guilty because you're like, I should appreciate this more where I am. Why can't I enjoy the country that I'm in now? Why is it not working for me? So it's really for those expats, the career-driven ones who have that expat success on the outside, but aren't feeling like that on the inside. And let's just quickly talk about the quiet cost of indecision, because you might think, I just need more time to think about it. I just need to figure it out. I will make a decision when I have more headspace, when I'm clearer in my head, when I have more time, when, work deadlines are over, then I'll have space to make that decision. That is a mistake that I have made many times myself as well. because that moment rarely ever comes. Because if you are like most of the clients that I coach, the career-driven expats, your life is pretty full and you always set goals for yourself. So that moment of super clear headspace and a lot of time in your calendar doesn't always happen. But there is also a cost of indecision, of not making a decision. Because maybe you're lying awake at 3 a.m. replaying endless career, location, and relationship scenarios in your head. I have definitely been guilty of that in the past. And if you're lying awake at 3 a.m. night after night, you probably don't have enough energy left for the next day. And maybe you're telling yourself, okay, this month I'm going to apply for jobs in that new careers field or in that new city or new country. But if you're so tired, maybe you come home from work and you have no energy left to actually wholeheartedly apply to jobs. So maybe you do it a little bit here and there, but if you're honest with yourself, you're doing it half-heartedly and you're not giving it the attention that it deserves. You simply don't have the energy for it. So months go by. Maybe you spend hours trying to make pros and cons lists, but that really lead to nowhere. Maybe you're getting more irritable with your partner or family, especially when they bring up the future, because you're already frustrated with yourself that you cannot figure this one out. You've always been able to figure everything out yourself, so why can't you figure this out now? So you're getting frustrated with yourself, and that results in annoyances with the people around you. Maybe you're avoiding commitments as simple as a trip next season or a 6-month gym membership offer because you simply don't know if you'll still be there next year. And these are simple, small things. But what I hear very often from a lot of expats, also the ones in the masterclasses this week, they also shared, I stopped investing in relationships, in dating, in friendships, because I don't know if I'll be here in 5 months. And so it's not worth the time. So what you're really doing then is that you're pausing your life because you're waiting for this decision. And so your love life gets halted, your social circle gets halted, and maybe you have certain needs when it comes to meeting people or sharing meaningful moments, but you're not investing in that purely because you don't know if you'll be there next year. So there is a quiet cost that you're paying by staying in indecision and by telling yourself, I'll figure it out when I have more headspace. And as I said, it doesn't need to take a lot of time. What takes the time is clearing the mental noise and possibly taking action on it. But the clarity, the decision making, and doing needle moving activities don't need months. It can happen in just a couple of weeks. So this is really what we're going to do in the co-pilot. This is a transformational program for those career-driven expats who have that success on the outside but feel quietly stuck on the inside. And I'm not going to tell you to make another pros and cons list or to talk about it with your family back home. No, in the co-pilot, I'm going to teach you a 4-part inner clarity system that gives you the clarity that you're after, but really it's also a practical, repeatable way to find clarity from within and to take calm, confident action and to lead your life with direction, even when the future is still unfolding for you. And inside the co-pilot, you'll go from quietly spinning your wheels. Maybe you're not sharing much about any of this, what's going on with your loved ones back home or your friends abroad. I've had several people reach out to me say, I need to make a decision as soon as possible, but I cannot talk about it with my friends because no one I know has been in my situation. So maybe you are quietly spinning your wheels, but inside the co-pilot, you'll become the clear, calm, self-led decision maker of your global life. And here is what you'll get inside the co-pilot. So as I said, I'll teach you this 4-part inner clarity system. Because once you have that inner clarity system, you'll be able to make decisions one by one, but repeatedly in your life, decisions that are good for you, decisions that are right for you, decisions that really scream your name, decisions that get you excited about the direction of your expat life again, and that make you feel fully in charge of your expat life. You are firmly in the driver's seat. This inner clarity system is designed to cut through confusion, and it helps you to make those clear choices, but it also helps you to feel confident about every step of the way, because I'll also help you to actually take action on it. Action is also part of the inner clarity system, and I'll dive into that in a moment. You will get lifetime access to all the videos and all the extras I'm adding to it, plus any upgrades that I'm making to this program in the future. Because I want you to have lifetime access, because I know that the right decision doesn't need to be rushed. And I also know it isn't just about this one decision, because knowing you a little bit, probably more decisions about your life will follow. So I want you to have lifetime access to the teachings inside the Copilot, so you can come back to it again and again. So it becomes like this library that you can always rely on. And I'm already planning a few upgrades, because there is a bunch, we do so much stuff inside the Copilot. It's always short videos, because I don't believe in long masterclasses. If you just want to go back to one practical tip I shared with you, I don't want you to go through 2 hours of a masterclass to find that tip. So you'll find short videos. But also I'm thinking now there's a lot about like how to get into action and exercises that you can do. But one of the upgrades that I'm going to make this round is that I'm going to talk about money mindset, because I've realized that for a lot of expats, financial security is a really big component in their decision making, and it's keeping them more stuck than they would honestly like. So I think it's really key that we start talking about your relationship with money as well, and how you can feel more confident about it. So this is one of the upgrades that I'll be making this round to the program. You won't be finding just videos about things. I want you to do things as well. So the Copilot really comes from my practice as a certified life coach, having coached over 170 expats. So that means that you'll be doing things as well, because the real change in your life to become that self-led decision maker isn't just by learning things, hearing about things, reading about things, all the passive learning. It is about implementing it. It is about doing exercises and taking action. This is when you'll make the real transformation. So inside the Copilot, you will find perspective shifting coaching tools. These are some of my most popular and most affecting coaching tools that I've used with my one-on-one clients. And these are really powerful exercises that help you untangle mental clutter, dissolve doubt, and finally see your next steps clearly without overthinking them at 2 a.m. So you'll find that in the Copilot as well. And the whole Copilot, you might have heard me say this before. I'm a life coach for expats, not an expat coach. So I'm not going to help you with in my eyes, more superficial expat stuff, like how to find friends or how to feel more at home. My work is really about what truly matters, and that is you in the expat context. But it's not the expat context that leads, you lead. So this program is really designed for people navigating international careers, relationships, and big moves. But the foundation of the whole program is really about who are you as a person? What are your thoughts that you are thinking about your decision? What emotions need to be more present so you can take clearer action? And this isn't about what country will fit me best, like when I look at job opportunities. Yes, that is important. It's part of your decision making. But that's not what I'm teaching you inside the Copilot. I'm really teaching you about how do I tick? What are my traps? What are the subconscious thoughts I say to myself? What are my strengths here? What do I need to make a good decision? What are my values? What really matters to me? How can I take confident action? That is the foundation that I lay out in the Copilot, which will set you up for decision success. And from there, you can practice that in your global life. Now, what I really love about the Copilot and about many of my programs, I tend to attract career-driven, high-achieving expats who are very independent. And they know very well what it's like to rely on themselves. And they've done that maybe not just in their expat life, but maybe their entire life. And they find it very hard to ask for support, to rely on other people perhaps even, but to really, they don't want to be a burden. So with my one-on-one coaching, I offer WhatsApp support, and I always have to tell my clients, please text me, please use this support. I know this is not in your system to do it, but the more you do it, you'll see the bigger your transformation will be. And for my one-on-one coaching and for all my other programs I've done in the past, I have always added group elements. So I offer some quarterly group calls, and some programs were really all group-based. And what I find so interesting, and it makes me so happy, is that the expats come for the content, but they stay for the community and the support. So I believe right now 90% or something around that of the last cohort of the co-pilot has decided to do another cohort because they really learned, wow, there is so much wisdom, support, and relief in finding this group, in knowing that I'm not alone in going through this. Because a lot of expats, and maybe you yourself as well, think everyone else seems to know what they're doing and seems to know what they want, and I'm the only one really struggling with figuring this out. And when they find the communities inside my world, they realize, oh, I am not the only one trying to figure this out. I'm not the only one with these doubts and with these fears. And so they start to engage. And that relief is already worth so much because it brings this sense of like, oh, I can breathe here. Like I don't need to explain myself here, or even worse, justify myself here, which I may have to do with my inner circle back home. And there's also a lot of wisdom and support there, because maybe you're thinking about moving to Berlin and someone in the group is currently living in Berlin or is from Berlin. And so you can also exchange practical tips and some advice. What I really loved is after the first session of the last cohort, some people right away contacted each other and added each other on Instagram and had a call together because they realized, hey, we are living in countries that each of us want to move to. So let's exchange information and tips and support. So you'll really find that in the co-pilot as well. And when I initially created this program, I thought, okay, I want to create something that they can do at their own pace, in their own time, wherever they are in the world. So I always wanted to be accessible to them. So this is why I created this evergreen program with lifetime access. And I added a couple of calls, like Q&A calls, because I thought maybe they have some questions around the exercises, or they just, want my support and to see how they're doing, or if I have any tips. And also maybe I can do some hot seat coaching with them, because it's really valuable to have a coach look at your specific situation, because I know that every expat life is unique. So I added those calls and I thought it's just a nice little bonus. But what I've come to learn after the last cohort is that they love the calls and they really, really appreciated being together and having my view on certain topics and doing hot seat coaching. So for this round, I am changing it up a little bit, and I'm so excited about this, because if you join the co-pilot, you will get 3 months of extra support. And that support looks like having a thematic call once a month. And this is a call where I really dive into some of the topics that come up, like fear, making concrete steps, also giving practical tips of how I stay connected to my vision and my decision, and how to stay strong in my view on that. It's things like that we have done in the past, especially fear comes up a lot. I have done visualizations with them in the calls, which were really powerful as well. I always do something with them. And then I will also have Q&A calls, like office hours, where you can just hop on the call if you want some extra support. If you're like, hey, Amanda, I did this exercise, but I'm kind of stuck with this and this for myself. Or I'm thinking about taking this kind of action. Do you have any extra ideas for me? So those office hours calls will also be there. And I really want to emphasize, I don't want you to feel that these calls are mandatory, that you have to show up. Because I know your life is full enough already. And I know you're someone who is responsible and wants to do things well. So I don't want this to become another commitment that you have to fulfill. All of the calls are there for you if you want it and if you need it. But I don't want you to feel obliged to attend. What I've seen with the last cohort is that they actually loved those calls because it really helped them to keep being focused on their decision and on the content of the program. So it has been very valuable. But the calls are there for whenever you want and need it. So you will get 3 months of extra support to really get like that personalized view on your situation. to really ask your questions about the content or anything else if you want my take on something. And you cannot just ask these questions to me, you can also ask them to the rest of the group. So you will be getting all of that. Plus, you will get a private WhatsApp group for the entirety of the 3 months where you can really share your wins, ask your questions, perhaps share your struggles, also share your insights, because I've really seen that, so many expats, they are a bit more private and they live very often in their head and they don't always share what's on their mind. They often think that their situation or question or win isn't so relevant to other people, which is not the case, because every time that someone shares, all the others were like, oh yeah, I have something so similar. This is where the relief comes from. So you can share all of that in the WhatsApp group. And once a week, I will be there to answer your questions as well. So there is more support from me. And this is really to keep you going, to maintain your momentum. Because once you decide to step into the Copilot, you are already making a decision of, hey, I want to be that self-led decision maker of my global life again. I don't want to be an indecision anymore. It is time for a change. I'm ready for a new chapter, even though I don't know yet how that chapter is going to look. So you're making that decision already to change something about who you are, about what you're doing, and about what you're going through. So you want to maintain that momentum. And that support from my side is really there to help you with that, to maintain that momentum. And to really give you some personalized support on your unique situation. Because I really, really do know that every global life is unique and you have your own challenges. So you get all of that for 3 months. And there's even more. Because for as long as the Copilot runs, so not your cohort with the community calls and support, but the program itself, for as long as the Copilot runs, you can join a group call every single quarter. So 5 years from now, when the Copilot is still running, you can still join these calls. So maybe you have, after this cohort of the Copilot, you have figured out what your next step is going to be and you've made a decision. But then maybe in 2 years' time, something happens or your circumstances change or you feel like a new decision is quietly building. And you're like, oh yeah, I've done some work on this before. Let me go back to the Copilot, go through some of the exercises again and some of the videos, and let me join a group call to get some hot seat coaching on what I'm currently going through. You will get access to these group calls for as long as the Copilot runs. That support is there for you too. Because I know your global life isn't just about this next decision, and I want to support you along the way. My work is always with a lasting view. I want whatever I do with my clients to be effective and long-lasting. And I want it to be sustainable for the future. And the Copilot is no exception for that. And I had so many nice reviews and testimonials from the Copilot from earlier on, when the Copilot was still a bit of a different program, but with similar tools and exercises. And from the last cohort, where a nice group of expats dove deeper into their decisions. And what I really loved is that quite a few have found their next decision. So they were all waiting for this big epiphany and their big lightning bolt moment to make their next decision. But what they found is like, oh, I just need to focus on the next right decision for me. I don't need to see the whole way yet. I just need to see the next step and know my vision. In one of the previous episodes of this Expat Life, I shared about the meso. So we have the micro and the macro. And many of us tend to focus on like the middle part. So we see maybe our next step. And then they're like, but I cannot take that next step until I know what the next term looks like. And what I really want you to focus on is just on your next concrete step and get into action and your bigger vision. And as long as that next step is aligned to the bigger vision, you'll figure out the middle part, the short-term part in a way. So a lot of the experts inside the Copilot have been doing that they are realizing, okay, I know what my next step is. They are making changes. Some have gotten real profound answers about like things related to their career, family life. And what I love the most is that everyone is now feeling calmer. They are feeling more confident. It's like this calm confidence about their journey. And some might still don't know exactly how it's going to look for them, but they are finally trusting the process. And that is I think, the biggest win, because I want you to learn that you can feel confident and calm no matter what is going on around you. So that's also what we focus on in the co-pilot. So very briefly, because as always, this episode is already getting longer than I had anticipated. There are 4 parts to the inner clarity system. In the first module, we're really going to look at what matters to you. So we're going to clarify that. You're going to cut through the noise and reconnect with your core. What I see happen very often is that expats who are facing a decision or are in crossroads, they focus on the concrete choice in front of them, A or B. And all their mental energy goes there. And I always tell them, pause, zoom out, and go back to what truly matters to you. Let's clarify that first. And only then we'll take a look at your crossroads. So in the first module, we're going to do exactly that. So I'll give you exercises and tools to really define your values, your non-negotiables, that will guide your decision from now on, every choice that you make. I will also help you with an exercise that will help you release energy leaks and focus on what you can shape, what you have actually influence over. There is a method to assess which areas of your life need attention right now to bring back balance and ease. We're also looking at the hidden drivers behind your current choices and how to shift into decisions that reflect what you really want. And I'm helping you connect to that bigger vision that I was speaking about, because that is the biggest driver of all in my eyes. Then in module number 2, we are going to untangle your inner world and uncover hidden blocks and unleash your potential. So, I made a mistake. Actually, we're not. That is the third module. In this second module, we are going to feel to the side, and we're going to learn how to be relaxed in uncertainty. Our body has a lot of inner knowing, and our body stores so much wisdom, and we tend to push emotions away as something negative or inconvenient. But your emotions really are your compass, and you can tap into this new source of information and support yourself in indecision. So probably, like many of the people that I coach, you have been taught to think your way through every major choice. But honestly, most of the aligned decisions, you don't arrive at them through logic alone. You feel your way there. That instant clarity that can happen comes from this inner knowing. And that happens when you learn to switch off your brain and let more into your body and intuition. So in module number 2, we are going to be doing that. We're also going to help you anchor your self-trust, build it up again, and rewire it in the brain, in the body. I'll also teach you how to feel more relaxed despite the uncertainty, and you'll get more in touch with your emotions so that you can use them as useful information. Now, in module number 3, we are going to untangle your inner world and uncover those hidden blocks so that you can unleash your potential. And this is super key because we are all wired in our own unique ways. And we have deep beliefs that really shape how we think, how we feel, and how we act. And especially how we act, this determines our reality. So for many, I dare to say for everyone, but I know things also happen in life, but like for most of your life, your outside world is a reflection of your inner world. So if you're only meeting struggle and fights in your outside world, it might be because your inner world is really wired in a way to see life as a struggle. And if you're always, a lot of us think, oh, I'm not good enough for that, or I'm a failure. We have these deep beliefs that we hold about ourselves, and they really influence what we think and what we say and what we do. And ultimately, also your decisions. So in this module, we are going to rewire that. And that this module is so important. And it's not always the easiest or the most fun module. But if you want that lasting change and be the real decision maker of your global life going forward, you need to work here. So inside this module, we're going to map your inner team. So the different parts of you that speak up when life feels uncertain and how to choose who's in the pilot seat. You're going to spot the subtle interpretations and assumptions that shape your big and small decisions, often without you realizing it. So once you can spot them, you can change them, and it will help you to make different decisions. We're also going to be looking at the 6 levels of clarity and change, so you can pinpoint exactly where your stuckness lives and what kind of shift will actually move you forward. This is some real deep inner work that goes on here, and it's key. So module 3 is absolutely important, and it's a really essential stepping stone for the next module, which is in the module 4. And in module 4, we are deciding and taking off, and you're going to move forward with confidence and clarity. So in the past modules, you've reconnected with what matters, you've cleared the mental clutter, you've learned to listen in, and now it's time to act. And this module is part of the inner clarity system because I really believe that action brings clarity. So this is why it's part of the system, and this is why it's not action that you take after you've made your decision and have done the whole system. No, action is part of the system because getting in forward energy again and starting to move will give you data, and data will help you assess if it's the right path for you or not. So action is part of the clarity system. And this module is really where the clarity becomes movement as well. And you'll learn how to make grounded, values-based decisions and actually follow through on them without spiraling, second guessing, or waiting for perfect conditions. So I'm going to give you fresh perspectives on decision making that empower you from a place of strength, not fear. We're also going to look at what your decision or indecision is costing you. We're going to look at the be, do, have model to start living your next chapter now, not someday. We will look at the overlooked power of small, consistent action and how it builds the life that you want, and also how to really anchor every decision in your values so that your expat life feels aligned, fulfilling, and truly yours. And in this module, I'm also sharing lots of practical tips and funny things that I do to keep myself into forward energy and action and to really stay committed to my decision. And you'll also learn how Taylor Swift has influenced me on this. So this is really about the fork in the road for you. This is your next crossroads moment. And just like on a trail, perhaps, standing still is a choice that you have, but you can also choose to move forward. So you can stay where you are and you can decide, I'm not going to do anything, I'm not going to invest. I'll just keep mapping scenarios and waiting for certainty to appear before I move. But that might also mean another month of lying awake at 3 a.m., replaying those same decisions in your head, but hoping for a different answer. Or another half-hearted job search. Or another weekend texting friends in different time zones while putting off plans in the one you live in. Another coffee with a friend where you say, I don't know, I just feel stuck. Or you might be still checking flights back home, not because it's what you want, but because at least it's a decision. You have that choice to go for that. But you also have another choice, and that is to start walking with the co-pilot. You can choose to transform everything. And by joining the co-pilot, you'll develop your own inner clarity system, and you begin building the inner clarity and confidence to move forward, one aligned step at a time. And the results of that is that you wake up with a clearer mind. No more 3 a.m. spirals over where to live, what job to take, or whether to stay in a relationship. You feel more grounded in your daily life because you're no longer split between where you are and the futures that you might choose. You say yes or no to opportunities with confidence, and you stop postponing trips, job moves, or personal investments out of uncertainty. And you simply experience more joy, connection, and meaning in your current expat chapter because you are longer living stuck in your head. So, will you keep standing at the fork in the road, replaying the same scenarios? If you choose nothing, the cycle continues. Your frustration compounds, your potential remains untapped. But if you are ready to break free and create real change, the co-pilot is your path forward. And doors to the co-pilot are open as of now. And they will stay open until Wednesday the 15th, at 1 minute to midnight on the Wednesday in Central European time. So, and I would love to have you there. And if you're still doubting, I have something really nice for you. Because the best part of the co-pilot is it comes with a 60-day money return guarantee. I am convinced that the co-pilot will help you make your next best decision. But if you bought the program and didn't like it, you will get your money back, 100% guaranteed. So you just have to let me know by email in your first 60 days and show me you did the work, which is half of the sessions and some of the calls. And if you do that, no questions asked, I will give you your money back. So that means this purchase is entirely risk-free. And you know that I live by a mantra. It's either a success or a lesson learned. Well, either the Copilot is a success or a free lesson learned. So you really have nothing to lose here. And when you join now, you'll get immediate access to those 4 deep dive modules that I spoke about. You will get access to your community support starting October 20th, when we have our first call and when I will start the WhatsApp group. You will have lifetime access to the core content of the Copilot, and you will have quarterly Q&A calls to ask your questions, do a new exercise, or get coached for as long as the Copilot runs. So you don't need to rush now. However, I do want to emphasize that you do want to get in if you are ready to make a decision. Because if you postpone it again, you'll have another couple of months with not getting any further. And at least now you can get started. And I'm also not quite sure when I will host another live cohort of the Copilot again. So if you have been thinking about this really is your chance. And this is also your opportunity to start doing the work now, so that when the new year starts, 2026, you know exactly what to focus on. And you're starting the new year with confidence and clarity and knowing your direction. I actually have a few bonuses as well. I have 2 experts coming in that I'm really excited about, because I'll be teaching you a lot about the mind and bodies, but more can be done. So we have Sylvia Keizer, who is joining us for a bonus session on grounding yourself in uncertainty through breathwork and the body. So that's really, really useful and important, because our nervous system, may think something of these things as well. And we have Diana Sophia, who's going to help us rewire our subconscious programming. So what is running in the background through different tools that I'm not teaching in the Copilot. So it's a beautiful addition to the program as well. And you can join the Copilot today for just €9.97 or 3 times 333. I'm giving you an option to pay in installments at no additional cost. Well, the difference is €2. So that is really there for you, that option. And if you feel like, Amanda, I want to join the Copilot, but I'm someone who needs one-on-one support, I've got you covered, because there is something extra for those who are really ready to do the deep work and who want more. And that is, I also offer a business class edition of the Copilot. And I only have 4 spots available. And it comes with everything that you heard me say about the Copilot, but it also gives you 4 private coaching sessions to go deeper on your decisions, blocks, and dreams with a value of €999. It gives you the WhatsApp support in between sessions, value of €449. You and I, WhatsApp support, not in the group only. You get access to my other courses that I have, and it's maximum 4 people, so I can give you the full attention that you deserve when you are building your next chapter. And that business class version of the Copilot is €1,999. So it's €1,000 difference. And I would really, really love to meet you there and, make some bold moves that my previous clients have done. So many quit their jobs and started their global business or applied for a new role with full confidence. Like I said, all of them feel a lot calmer and more confident as well in their uncertainty. Some moved back home despite exciting career opportunities abroad. Quite a few have decided to start a family, which I'm really happy about, because these are some profound decisions. And a few moved to a new country even though they had no reason, quote unquote, to do it. And I just want to share something that some of the previous pilots have mentioned about the Copilot. And I asked them, let me get my notes here. I asked them, what would you want if another expat was thinking about joining the Copilot? What would you want them to know? And they say that it's surprisingly effective. By only investing some time consistently over a few months, you could create some actual change. It is really worth the time. Another person said the flexibility, the self-paced of it, lot of content, your own experience as a former diplomat, and the value of the program being really tailored for expats. Because like I said, space is designed exclusively for expats, so you will only meet people who are in the same boat. Another expat said, I'd want them to know that the Copilot is more than just guidance. It is a structured and supportive space that helps you turn the challenges of an international lifestyle into opportunities for growth. And with Amanda's coaching, you don't just adapt, you gain the clarity and confidence to actively shape the life you want abroad. It's really nice to hear. And someone else said, there are 2 key reasons why I found the Copilot much more impactful compared to past coaching and therapies that I've done, and why I would encourage everyone who's wanting to feel more confident in their decision making to join the program. Firstly, the Copilot has been an invaluable program for me in equipping me with tools which I will continue to use for the years to come when facing personal decisions. Secondly, the safe space which Amanda creates in the group calls has been extremely beneficial to feel connected to others whilst going through this process. Yeah, and I would like to emphasize that because that safe space is sacred to me. I want everyone to feel safe to open up, because if you don't open up, we cannot make the real change. And so this is one of the things I always focus on in all the group elements that I create. And someone else said, putting in the work now will offer significant return on investment as you take your next steps. And finally, someone else just said, join. So that is what they wanted you to know about the Copilot, and that makes me really happy. So if you are interested, doors are now open. I am so excited to be welcoming you into this world and to create a new group and real change in so many lives. I can't wait to get started with you. We have our first call on Monday the 20th. If you can't make it, no worries. There is a replay available. You can also send your questions in beforehand so I can make sure to answer them. This goes for all the calls, by the way. And doors are open until Wednesday the 15th until 11:59. Let me say it correctly now, Central European time. And if you feel like, okay, I want to join, but I'm not fully certain yet, you have the opportunity to book a 50-minute boarding call with me. This is a free call, and this is really for you and I to see, hey, is the Copilot right for you? And if I feel it isn't, because you might be needing a career coach or a mentor or a psychologist or something else, or just a kick in the butt, I will also tell you that. Because I really want to create that safe space with like-minded people who are in the same boat. And if I feel like you need less support or more support or different kind of support, I will honestly tell you that. So you can book that call. I will put the link in the show notes. I have space. I just opened up a few extra slots. Quite a few people are already booked one after the masterclass. So that's really exciting. It's so nice. There are so many people from all over the world. I love this international bunch of people that I always tend to attract in my programs. It excites me a lot. So you can book your call. I've opened some extra slots and the calls are available until probably Wednesday as well. So I would love to speak with you. I would love to welcome you inside the Copilot. If you have been thinking about working with me, if you are ready to finally quit that indecision and move forward with confidence, this is your call to board. Doors are now open. I'll see you there.